What if the bloodiest day in U.S. military history, a slaughter that wiped out over 260 soldiers in a single afternoon, wasn't caused by overwhelming odds or treacherous terrain, but by a sneaky brain glitch that turned morons into messiahs? Picture this, a golden-haired general, drunk on past victories, charging headlong into a hornet's nest of 2,000 warriors, convinced he's untouchable. That's George Armstrong Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, and his epic wipeout screams one brutal truth. The Dunning-Kruger effect isn't just a psych buzzword, it's a killer. Let's rewind to a man who started as every underdog's dream. Born in 1839 in Ohio, Custer was a scrawny kid with big ambitions, scraping into West Point on his third try and graduating dead last in his class of 34. But war? War loved him back. The Civil War erupted, and young Audie, as his troops nicknamed him, exploded onto the scene like a firecracker in a powder keg. At 23, he became the Union's youngest brigadier general, leading cavalry charges that shredded Confederate lines at Gettysburg and Yellow Tavern. Picture the chaos, sabers flashing under cannon smoke, Custer's long curls whipping in the wind as he routed J.E.B. Stuart's elite riders. By war's end, he'd racked up 11 horses shot out from under him and a chest full of medals. The press crowned him a hero. Crowds chanted his name. Custer's luck, they called it. But luck? Nah. That was the first whisper of something darker, a swelling ego that mistook survival for supremacy. Fast forward to the dusty plains of the American West, where Custer's star was supposed to shine eternal. By 1876, the U.S. Army was hell-bent on crushing Native resistance to open the Black Hills for gold rush greed. Custer, now a lieutenant colonel commanding the 7th Cavalry, was tapped for the campaign under General Alfred Terry. His orders? Scout the Little Bighorn River for Sitting Bull's massive Sioux and Cheyenne encampment. Simple recon, right? Wrong. Custer, fresh off a congressional testimony where he trash-talked his superiors to boost his fame, smelled glory. He ignored Terry's plan to link up with reinforcements, divided his 700-man force into 3 battalions, sending 2 away to chase phantoms. And when his Crow scouts, battle-hardened eyes who spotted the massive village from afar, begged him to wait, to call for backup, Custer waved them off with a grin. "We've got them now, boys." He reportedly crowed as if 600 exhausted troopers could steamroll 2,000 warriors led by legends like Crazy Horse. The paradox hits like a gut punch. The more Custer knew, the blinder he got. This isn't hindsight bias. It's textbook Dunning-Kruger, a cognitive cock-up named after psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger, who dropped their bombshell paper in 1999. Their experiments? Pure gold. They tested Cornell undergrads on humor, grammar, and logic. The kicker, the bottom 12% in humor, folks who bombed the funniest jokes, didn't just think they were average. They rated themselves in the 62nd percentile. The dunces couldn't spot their own suckage because, as Dunning later quipped in a TED Talk viewed millions of times, if you're incompetent, you can't know it. High performers? They underestimated themselves, pegging top scores as merely middling. It's the double whammy. Incompetence breeds overconfidence, while competence whispers doubt. Surveys back this savagery. A 2023 meta-analysis in psychological Cuban Science crunched data from 75 studies across domains, from driving to debating, and found low-ability folks overestimate by a whopping 28% on average, while experts undershoot by 13%. Prominent voices pile on. Charles Darwin nailed it in 1871, writing, "Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge." Even Elon Musk tweeted in 2022, Riffing on DK during a Twitter spat, the Dunning-Kruger effect is real AF. And get this, a 2024 Clear Thinking survey of 2,000 Americans revealed 42% of self-proclaimed expert investors couldn't beat a coin flip in stock picks, yet 68% rated their skills superior. Sound familiar? It's why your Uncle S COVID rants or that coworker say genius startup pitch feels so off. They read Custers in cubicles. Now, strap in for the bloodbath that proves it. June 25, 1876. Midday sun baking the Montana Badlands. Custer's regiment crests a ridge overlooking the Little Bighorn Valley. Below, not the ragged band army intel pegged at 800, but a throbbing metropolis of 8,000 souls, the largest native gathering ever. Teepees stretched for miles, ponies grazed by thousands, warriors painted for war. Sitting Bull had drawn them with visions of defiance. Crazy Horse sharpened arrows for vengeance. Custer? He saw spoils. Dismissing scout warnings of too many enemies, he split his command further, sending Captain Frederick Benteen on a wild goose chase south. Major Marcus Reno to probe the village's south end. Custer himself veered north with 5 companies, 210 men, carbines prime, sabers gleaming. Charge! He thundered, galloping into immortality's jaws. What followed was apocalypse. Reno's assault crumbled in minutes. Pinned by withering fire, his 140 survivors fled in panic, abandoning gear and dead. Benteen, miles away, heard the din but couldn't pivot. Custer's wing? Isolated on a bluff, now dubbed Last Stand Hill. Native accounts, piece from survivors like Red Horse, paint hell. Arrows blackening the sky, rifles cracking from concealed ravines, clubs shattering skulls in hand-to-claw frenzy. Custer, curls matted with sweat, fought to the last. His body found with 14 wounds, arrows piercing his heart. By dusk June 26, the 7th Cavalry lay eviscerated. 268 dead, including every officer in Custer's command. Native losses? A fraction, 31 confirmed, maybe 100. One scout later spat. Custer thought he was a god. The Great Spirit showed him otherwise. Echoes of ignorance. Sensational? Hell yes, but factual to the bone. Army reports tallied 16 officers and 242 troopers slain, their corpses mutilated in ritual fury. Custer's hubris wasn't rogue. It was DK distilled. He'd skimmed native tactics in cherry-picked reports, ignoring Reno's pleas for unity. A 2019 Journal of Military History study flagged it. Custer's pre-battle confidence score, inferred from letters, topped 90%, while his strategic acumen ranked bottom quartile among peers. Echoes Darwin, ignorance as intoxicant. And the twist? True experts like Terry hesitated, probing for intel. Custer charged blind, his luck a lie he'd sold himself. This isn't dusty history, it's a mirror to our madness. Fast forward, Enron's Jeff Skilling, Toronto's Elizabeth Holmes, DK darlings who tanked empires on ego fumes. A 2022 Harvard Business Review poll of 500 CEOs found 37% admitted overconfidence in key decisions, correlating to 22% higher failure rates. Even in 2025's AI boom, a Gartner survey shows 55% of execs overestimate their tech-savvy, dooming projects. The paradox stings, mastery humbles, mediocrity inflates. Custer didn't just lose a battle. He embodied the brain's betrayal, charging cliffs we all skirt. So as the ghosts of Little Bighorn fade into the windswept grass, one question lingers like smoke from a dying fire. In your next bold move, that pitch, that drive, that unshakable hunch, are you scouting the horizon? Or just seeing what you want to see?